I played the Monster Hunter Wilds beta 3 times and tried the game at Gamescom 2024. The game does something really well. My name is Artyom, and in this video I want to see just how Monster Hunter Wilds elevates its combat in comparison to previous games, especially its two predecessors, World/Iceborne and Ricebreak. As a fiver, the first time I truly got into Monster Hunter was with the release of World on PC. I got it on release day. Some friends and I had a LAN party a couple of weeks after release and we had a blast playing the game. I had previously on a couple occasions tried to get into Monster Hunter because when I first saw the Monster Hunter Try trailer on TV, I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. Except I didn't own a Wii, so I was stuck playing the SpongeBob creature from the Krusty Krab on PS2. Nevertheless, I still had the franchise in the back of my mind, so when a friend eventually told me he would buy Monster Hunter World, I pretty much bought it on the spot too. Because I had this faint memory of this really cool and niche franchise I heard of long ago. So the game released, and I spent not enough time on it. Prior to Iceborne, I had amassed around 350 hours in-game. With Iceborne, that number soared up to around 1100. Many hours spent grinding decorations and just enjoying the game in general. I started out with the longsword, but later switched to the greatsword and eventually started using even more weapons like the hammer and the guns. The gameplay varies greatly between each weapon. Longsword requires you to focus and time your dodges, whereas with greatsword and heavy bowgun you can more or less brute force your way through the fight. The hammer had lots of spinny moves that looked really great and were a lot of fun to use. Bonking the monster until its brain melts into a puddle will never get old. Light bowgun requires you to be quick on your feet. Safi Aquashot Sticky will forever remain one of the most fun ways to play the game. I eventually expanded my horizon even further by adding lance and gun lance to my repertoire, with lance having many awesome counter abilities and being incredibly chill to play, while gun lance makes the world around you burn to ashes. Now, here comes a question. I mentioned me trying to get into the franchise prior to World. So why did World stick with me while earlier titles did not? What is the fundamental reason as to why I amassed 1000+ hours in the World Born and around 400 in Ricebreak? Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed Ricebreak to the fullest. Being able to run along walls and having a sort of jump button was insanely fun. But in my opinion, Ricebreak has two flaws that make it not as enjoyable as World, at least to me. The first being, it's just way too fast. You swoosh your way around the monster and they barely even know what to do, so they added quite a few AoE attacks in the hopes that any of them will hit the hunter. The other flaw is more subtle, but still significant to me. It also derives a bit from the game being too fast. It's basically the fact that the weapons you are wielding have seemingly no weight to them. In World, when you hit a monster with a chunky-ish attack, your character experiences hit stun. The hunter freezes for a couple of frames, which really effectively gives off the illusion that your attack just now had an actual impact on the monster's body. In Ricebreak, this was really toned down. While the faster combat is a more exciting and challenging aspect for a good portion of the player base, I personally prefer my hits to have oomph behind them. Whenever I slam my hammer against a monster's head and it flinches or gets stunned, I know that it was my deed, for the foul creature experience of the might of mine hammer. Same goes for things like any greatsword attack or sticky ammo. It just feels amazing to hold this raw power behind every attack. And as the Monster Hunter developer gods intended, hit stun came back in Wilds. Except there's a twist which drastically improves the basic foundation of your attacks, seemingly having an effect on the monster, because now your attacks actually do inflict an effect on it. Offset slashes and power clashes are a new feature in Wilds, exclusive to heavier weapons and weapon blocking capabilities respectively. When you execute an attack that has an upwards trajectory and hit the monster at just the right time during one of its attacks, the monster flinches back and you can follow up with more attacks. You feel an exhilarating rush through your body to your brain, as all neurons along the way appreciate being able to exist, because knocking the monster backwards and following up with more attacks while it still reels from the impact is one of, if not the greatest feeling I have ever experienced while playing a video game. The very fact that your attack has such a big impact on the monster's behavior that it has to reel back for a couple seconds and first realize what just happened before it attacks you again is the very reason why Wilds feels just perfect to play with heavy weapons. Speaking of perfect, if you perfectly block certain attacks, you initiate a power clash, where you basically spam a button to make the monster bounce back. Any weapon that can block can initiate a power clash, and they just feel as awesome to pull off as an offset slash. Though offset slash are a little bit better. Still, both get you excited to just be there and live in the moment. Both get you excited to continue fighting the monster, and both make you want to experience it more and more. The design and subtle details around the impacts that happen when you initiate either the new features are the cream of the crop. In summary, the inclusion of these two features along with many other improvements and weapon changes here and there make Wilds my most anticipated game of the year, and I can't wait to play it on release. I also can't wait to see what new monsters they cooked up. We already had like 12 completely new ones shown, and I bet there are more they won't show us as to not spoil the experience too much. Now, I could continue babbling more about Wilds in general because it's incredible in every aspect, from sound design to music to effects to monster design to world building and so on and so forth. But I have yet to 100% Monster Hunter World and do other stuff while on vacation. Anyways, what's your opinion on the new changes in Wilds? Have you played the demo? Tell me more. Thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you next time. Bye!